Hi, my name is Hannah, and I'm here with Nicole. I'm her student physical therapist today, and we're doing the Astrand cycle test to predict Nicole's VO2 max. She's been warming up for the past 3 minutes at 25 watts and about 50 RPMs. So at this time, since it's been about 3 minutes, we're going to bump her up to 100 watts. I'm going to turn that up for you. And we determined that she would be at 100 watts for this test because she is a conditioned female. And a couple of things about before we started. We talked about Nicole's exercise history. She exercises regularly and has no signs or symptoms of cardiovascular, renal, or metabolic disease. So she did not need medical clearance before starting this test. We also measured her resting values for heart rate, blood pressure, and RPE. So her resting heart rate was 54 beats per minute, her blood pressure was 101/60, and her RPE was at a 6, which are all safe values to start the test. The goal for the test will be to get her into her submaximal heart rate, which is between 115 to 163 beats per minute. We calculated that because it was between 60% and 85% of her maximal heart rate, which was 192 beats per minute, and we calculated that using her age. And then also before we started, we adjusted the height of the bicycle to be at the level of her greater trochanter, and then she got on the bike and has been warming up. And now what we're going to do, since we're almost at 2 minutes into the test, I'm going to measure her heart rate and her blood pressure and her heart rate again, and I'm going to get her RPE. All right, cool. So I'm going to take your heart rate. Okay, let me write that down quick. All right, now I'm going to take your blood pressure. Okay, I'm going to write that down. And then I'm going to take your heart rate again. That down. All right, and then according to this rate of perceived exertion scale, about where would you say you are?
Probably out of 10.
Out of 10? Okay. How are you feeling?
I feel good.
Okay, good. So at the 3 minute mark, Nicole's heart rate was 124, and her blood pressure was 115/61. And when I took her heart rate again, it remained at 124, and as she said, her RPE was 10. So we're going to keep going with the test because she did get her heart rate into that submaximal range at 124 beats per minute. And now we're just going to wait until you get to about 5 minutes, and then we'll take those measurements again, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. Still feeling okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you stay at about 50 RPMs, okay? There you go. Almost there. A couple more seconds, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to take your heart rate again. Let me write that down. All right, now I'm going to take your blood pressure again, okay? There you go. Okay. Make sure I don't get tangled here. All right, let me write that down. I'm going to take your heart rate again. And again, what would you say your RPE is?
I think I'm at a 12 now.
12? Okay. Okay, how are you feeling?
Good.
Good? Okay, so at the 6-minute mark, her heart rate was at 128, and her blood pressure was 120 over 62, and her heart rate at the second time was also 128, and as she said, her RPE was 12. So because we can stop the test and put you down into a cool down now because you're in the submaximal heart rate range with that 128. Okay, so I'm going to bump you down to 25 watts and try to stay at the 50 RPM still. Okay.
Okay.
And now the goal with the cool down is it's going to be about 3 to 5 minutes, and we want her to be in 10% of her resting blood pressure and heart rate. And so we'll let you just cool down. Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.